Hello everybody and welcome to Gamer Couch. Let's have a look at the Greatsword today. We won't go over everything the Greatsword has to offer. If we would cover everything, we would talk easily over 30 minutes. Instead, I would like to give you some recommendations to make the Greatsword actually work. At first, the Greatsword can feel very slow and very heavy. And you probably get punished a lot when you try to attack. That's because after heavy attacks, you are very open. So timing is very important with the Greatsword. And because you can't just simply spam attacks, a lot of people just drop the Greatsword immediately, which is sad because the Greatsword is very powerful. Not only in solo it's easy to beat tempered monsters, but you can be a real asset when you play in a party. So basically the question is, how do we get there? There are a few things you can adjust in your playstyle to make the Greatsword work. And it's actually way easier than you might think. So let us take a look at it. So the first thing you can adjust very easily is how you guard. And even more important, you should know about guard cancelling. Now obviously when you hold R2, you will guard. Depending on the attack that hits you, you will take damage while guarding. That's why you should always try to go for a perfect guard. This can be done if you hit R2 right before the attack hits you. So what do we need guard cancelling for? Basically you need the guard cancelling to get out of an animation faster. So instead of just holding R2, what you actually do is, you push forward as if you wanted to walk forward and hold R2. For whatever reason, you will guard faster than instead of just holding R2. So because of that, it's now possible to get attacks through where you earlier couldn't. If you don't use guard cancel, you will be stuck in the animation longer. This leaves you open to be punished a lot. So for the future, you can always use guard cancelling after the attack. Let us talk about one of the strongest additions to the Greatsword, the offset attack. You can execute the charge rising slash by pushing triangle and circle at the same time. Not only does the offset deal a lot of damage, when the timing is right you will knock back the monster. Once you knock back the monster with the offset, there's a hidden bar that you will fill up with each successful offset that hits again. But even if the monster doesn't get knocked back by the offset until the bar is filled up again, you will still deal a decent amount of damage. And when the timing is right, you don't take damage at all. And also the offset will create wounds and break parts. So I definitely recommend you to use the offset as much as possible. This is very powerful and can actually change your whole fight and playstyle. The fact that you can charge up the offset is very useful. It's different from other offsets in the game and will make it way easier for you to hit the timing. Also, if necessary, you can use the guard cancelling right after the offset. You can practice the offset with any type of monster. Just keep in mind to go into the charge of the offset before an attack is happening. This is essential for the timing. If the monster is starting to attack you, you're too late for the offset. That's when you should perfect guard. So what you do is, you charge up the offset before the attack is happening. Do that over and over again. If you miss the timing of the offset, don't worry, it's a good situation to practice your perfect guard like this. Here's a perfect example of what I mean. I go into the charge of the offset before anything is happening. I know the attack is coming. And because of the charge, I have time. When the attack is happening, I can release the offset. This is also a great example because it shows how forgiving the timing is. The sword was already up in the air and still the offset was triggered. Here is another good example for the timing. As you can see, I'm already starting to charge up because I know Argwild is going to attack me soon. Now just watch him attack into the offset. This brings us to the conclusion: in order to hit the timing, it's better to release the attack a little bit early than late. This leads us to the last important mechanic for today. When you charge your attack and press circle, you can actually tackle. If you tackle while a monster is attacking you, you won't take any damage. In some cases you will even knock out the monster. Plus, every tackle skips the phase you were charging in. So this is also a good way to get into your third phase for the true charge slash. Either way, this is a very good option if you misread the situation. So let's say you thought you could attack, but then the monster is moving in on you. You just press circle to tackle while the monster is attacking you, and you can continue from there. You can also practice this mechanic by intentionally going into a charge even though the monster is attacking you. Just try to get through with it using the tackle. Regarding the timing, it's the same as if you were doing a perfect guard. All you have to do is hit the tackle right before the attack is hitting you. So this is always a good backup plan if necessary. So how can this all work out in a fight? You should try to create openings by using the offset just like here. When you have some openings, of course attack. Make use of the wounds you've created as soon as possible. This will give you huge openings to land your attacks. Obviously, we want to hit the monster with our charged attacks as much as possible. But sometimes it's even better not to fully charge up. So when you know you don't have enough time, it's okay to not fully charge. Every hit eventually will lead to your goal. As long as you create time windows with the offset, you're fine. When you start to make the offset work, that's when the rest comes by itself. You will very fast get a feeling for when it's time to attack. So going for the offset is a very good playstyle, especially when you think about how forgiving the timing is of the offset. The fights will start to shift in your favor. That's when your attacks will start to, break parts, create wounds, and giving monsters a hard time. So just remember, once again, go into the offset before an attack is happening. If you stick to the strat, you'll be fine. One last thing to mention if you have time to attack is how to use the charge. So if you charge all the way through, you will glow red. As soon as you hit the red stage and it kind of pops, you should let go of the button. That's a perfect timing and you will deal additional damage. If you compare it to when you let go too late, the damage is way lower. So always make sure that as soon as you hit the red stage to let go when the red shimmer thing pops. This way you will always get the maximum out of your damage. Try to get the best out of every opportunity. That's actually everything you need in the beginning to get some sort of flow into the fight with the Greatsword. As soon as you start hitting those offset attacks, you will realize how the fights shift into your favor. So I hope the video helps you in every way to achieve that. Please remember, I'm only doing recommendations. Obviously, there's so much more to the Greatsword and so many more playstyles. My intention is to give you an easy entrance to the weapon. I want to thank everyone who supports me. I appreciate every like, comment and subscription, of course. Feel free to leave a comment if you have questions. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, happy hunting, and see you next time.